If you feel you have heard our first reading before, you are right, since it was the first reading on November 2, All Souls Day. It comes from the Book of Wisdom, otherwise known as the Wisdom of Solomon, although Solomon is not the actual author, and is one of 7 books in the version of the Bible adopted by the Catholic and Eastern Orthodox churches, but not in the version accepted by most Protestant denominations. The writing is addressed by an unknown author, probably to the Jewish community in Alexandria in the 1st century BCE. Our passage today invites reflection on death in our own experience. It's frequently used in liturgies, especially for Christian burial, as well as other services in commemoration of those who have died. And it ponders the fate of the wicked and of the righteous. When my husband died several years ago, I wondered where he was. A man generous and kind to all, yet not a church-going man. And I didn't mean where his body was, but rather his soul, his essence, if you will, his life after death. I asked a priest this question, and his answer was, think and pray about it. Or at least that is what I recollect. Of course, we cannot answer that for sure from our own experience. And for some reason at the time, I found myself thrown back to early catechism days and teachings about purgatory and heaven, whatever that meant at that time in my life. I got a similar question this fall from my 7-year-old grandchild when his beloved dog died, a pet who was born 8 years before he was. All 3 children in the car waited with bated breath for my answer. And this time, I think I had a better one. My answer, in the loving embrace, the hug of God, who not only loves us so much, but also loves Harley and all other creatures forever. All 3 children settled back, satisfied with the answer, at least for the time being, because I'm sure as they grow up, they will ask themselves this question many times over, as we all do. I wish I had found our first reading at my husband's death, since it represents a good springboard to considering death. In the chapter preceding ours today, we hear the wicked saying, "Hereafter we shall be as though we had not been. Brief and troubled is our lifetimes. There is no remedy for dying, nor is anyone known to have come back from Hades. For by chance were we born, and hereafter we shall be as though we had not been. Our life will pass away like the traces of a cloud, and will be dispersed like mist." That is the wicked speaking. But today's passage dwells on the fate of the righteous, the just, those in right relationship with God. And we hear peace. But the souls of the just are in the hand of God, and no torment shall touch them. We hear immortality and God's blessing upon them. We hear that they have been tried by God as gold in a furnace and as sacrificial offerings, recognizing their suffering in life. Yet, in beautiful imagery, we also hear, "In the time of their visitation they shall shine, and shall dart about as sparks through stubble." A beautiful image which makes me think of fireflies at night. And finally we are told, The Lord shall be their king forever, and the faithful shall abide with him in love. Here we have then an invitation, yet again, to ponder how we think about death, of ourselves and our loved ones. My own prayer led me to consider, over time, experiences of unconditional love in humans, and from there to consider God as a source of all love, unconditionally, without limit. And then from there to Jesus' words to Mary and Martha when he raised Lazarus from the dead. I am the resurrection and the life, says the Lord. Whoever believes in me, even though he dies, will live. And everyone who lives and believes in me will not die. Do you believe this? We might ask ourselves, what do we believe? How do we answer Jesus' question about our own belief? As we ponder our answers, we might look to a prayer we say together every Sunday at Mass in the Nicene Creed. I look forward to the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. We indicate by our closing Amen that we are making that statement our own. Is that the case for me? For you?